Welcome to World Drama with Benny Bungle. These past days, Nepal has been exploding, like it's sitting on a powder keg. And the one striking the match is Gen Z. The government, in its cluelessness, thought that banning all social media would silence the voices. But in reality, that was just an excuse. The real cause lies elsewhere. Corruption, sky high. The officials' kids are living it up abroad, while people at home are starving with nothing to put in their stomachs. So that social media ban, just the last drop. And when it fell, the whole nation went up in flames. See that? International news is even more intense than Netflix dramas, so don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. So I'll have the motivation to keep chasing global drama and retelling it for you all. When the people of Nepal lost it, they didn't just wave banners. They turned the entire capital into a bonfire. Hilton Hyatt, those places usually serving buffets for Western tourists, now roasted like an outdoor barbecue. Parliament, the presidential palace, all reduced to firewood. Even the prime minister's wife got dragged out as kindling. Early results: at least 34 dead, over 1,300 injured. And in Kathmandu, even the sound of a car horn now feels like a war trumpet. Prime Minister Oli had no choice but to pack his bags and resign, while the government scrambled to throw a 35-year-old rapper into the hot seat, like Netflix accidentally casting the wrong guy. For the role of saving the nation, the public is split. One side cheering change is better than nothing, while the other side frowns. Wait, will he run the country? Or just drop an album? Can't really blame the Nepali people. When you're starving, you burn things down, hoping change will bring some light. But the problem is, Nepal isn't short on change. In fact, since 2008, over 17 years, they've swapped out 14 prime ministers. That's shorter than the average street cat's lifespan. Every time there's a blaze, they vote again, and the country stays just as broke. It's basically the political version of a national speed run. Keep hitting reset, but the next level looks exactly the same. International experts even call Nepal a prime minister grinder. No matter who you throw in, within a week or two they're reduced to dust. Change isn't magic, especially in a country where geography, economy, and the whole system have your hands tied. In Nepal, torching the government is like swapping out a burner SIM card. The number changes, but the poverty charges stay the same. People love to say Nepal is poor because of corruption. Sorry, but corruption is a national dish everywhere. In America, politicians get lobby, money poured into Congress smoother than Starbucks pouring coffee. In France, ex-President Sarkozy literally got sentenced. Yet Parisians are still munching croissants under the Eiffel Tower. In South Korea, ex-President Park Geun-hye fell from grace in a power scandal. But Samsung and Hyundai never stopped rolling. In China, Xi Jinping has been catching tigers and swatting flies for a whole decade. But guess what new tigers and new flies keep popping up? Even Japan isn't exempt. Prime Minister Abe was once accused of giving his buddy a sweet land deal, but Tokyo still glows all night. See the pattern? Corruption is everywhere, but those countries are still filthy rich. So saying Nepal is poor because of corruption is as shallow as instant noodles. And the whole banning social media excuse, come on, poverty doesn't happen because people can't sell stuff on TikTok. That's like saying Nepalese are starving because they can't post Instagram stories. Here's the harsher truth: corruption or no Facebook signs are just leaves on the tree. The real root problem is an economy hooked on remittances, lacking real production, and chained to dependence. That's what's keeping Nepal stuck. Not some no Facebook notice board. Honestly, Nepal's been cursed since day one. In just 17 years, they've swapped governments 14 times. You'd think that's like hitting the system reboot button. Nope, reboot done. Still the same black screen of doom. The root problem isn't just corrupt politicians. It's literally the map. Only 17% of Nepal is flat land. The other 83%, sky-piercing mountains. Sounds romantic, like a hiker's paradise. But try living there. Transporting goods is basically playing Dark Souls in real life. Kathmandu is called the capital hub. But what hub? Roads from the capital to the provinces are shredded by the Himalayas, like a pizza cut into chaos. Moving goods around is like blood in a clogged artery, blocked here, clotted there, dead in another spot. Foreign companies take one look, and nope, out immediately. Importing raw materials is a nightmare. Exporting products is worse, and to top it off, Nepal has no seaport. Already poor and locked out of global trade, too. And as if that wasn't enough, nature threw in a free disaster DLC pack. In 2015, an earthquake killed over 9,000 people, flattening houses like dominoes just when they save a little money. Boom. Earthquake hits reset to level 0 a few months ago. Another quake followed by floods, and landslides racing to join the party. Living in Nepal is basically hardcore survival mode. Whatever you build, Mother Nature deletes. So yeah, no wonder Nepal stays broke. Less corruption, still broke. More government swaps, still broke. When your foundation is mountains block, earthquakes smash, floods sweep. Even a god-tier leader would just throw up his hands. Bluntly put, Nepal doesn't run on its own engines. It runs on money sent home by relatives abroad. Inside the country, most people just farm, grow enough to eat, sell the leftovers, starve if it's short. But if you want real cash, you have to export yourself. Remittances make up nearly a quarter of Nepal's GDP, meaning the economy survives. Thanks to the uncle breaking his back in Qatar, the aunt scrubbing floors in Saudi Arabia, and even young men signing up as mercenaries in Ukraine, just to wire money back home. In Nepal, cash doesn't always come from the central bank. It comes stuffed in envelopes arriving at the end of the month. Then there's the Everest industry, which sounds glamorous, but is basically meme-level economics. Every year, a few hundred bored Westerners pay to climb it, leaving behind more trash than cash, more plastic bags than summit flags. Sure, Nepal charges climbing fees, but the revenue barely covers cleaning up. Half the mountain. And Nepal's unluckiest card, geography. It's wedged between two heavyweight neighbors, India and China. Access to the world, completely blocked by the Himalayas, leaving only one escape route through India. Fuel, electricity, internet, all controlled by New Delhi. Basically, if India sneezes, Kathmandu has to go buy medicine, but Nepal doesn't want to be Big Brother's lapdog, so it cozies up to China instead. Hey, she come invest, I'll be good promise. Of course, China's investments come with a little bonus pack called debt trap. The more Nepal borrows, the tighter the noose around its neck. Problem is, get too close to China, and India won't sit still. In 2015, when Nepal signed a trade deal with Beijing, India blockaded the border, cutting off fuel and paralyzing the capital. People had to queue for miles just to buy cooking gas. That's what New Delhi calls teaching your little brother a lesson. So Nepal ends up in a tragic sandwich situation. Without India, it dies. Leaning on China, it also dies. A country trapped like meat in a sandwich, but the filling is made of debt bombs. Nepal sits right between two cultural grandfathers, India and China. So its culture is like a giant hot pot. You stick your ladle in, but you're not quite sure what you're scooping out. In theory, this is the birthplace of the Buddha. In reality, though, 80% of the population are Hindus. Backwards. Confusing. Both true. On top of that, every region has its own customs, so basically anything can turn into a festival. Nepalis have a worship whatever moves philosophy. River gods, mountain gods, tree gods, lake gods. Honestly, if a Wi-Fi god showed up tomorrow, someone would build a shrine immediately. The crown jewel is the 5-year animal sacrifice festival, where 500,000 animals are slaughtered in just a few days. The world gasps. PETA screams bloody murder, but Nepalis shrug. Sorry, it's faith, not a hobby. And since it's tied to religion, no government dares touch it. Mess with it, and you're finished. Like if a U.S. president banned fried chicken during the Super Bowl, nobody would care about the economy. They'd only care that you ruined my ritual. Here's the paradox. A nation where people go hungry, where the economy survives on remittances, but still willing to kill 500,000 animals for offerings. Leaders fumble around. Because education is weak and literacy is low, every new government feels like a 7-day free trial before crashing. The people, poor and superstitious, they riot, torch parliament, overthrow prime ministers. But when it comes to the eternal question, okay, who's in charge after we burn it all down? Silence. Some even joke, just elect a young rapper to run the country, which sounds like a Netflix satire script except in Nepal. It could actually happen. So when you zoom out, the Gen Z uprising, burning parliament, ousting prime ministers sounds shocking, but actually makes sense. A country that changes leaders faster than iPhones, survives on remittances, trapped between India and China, like sandwich meat, drowning in superstition, crawling in education, of course. The youth are going to explode. They want change. But hitting reset over and over only breaks the system more. Nepal isn't poor because it lacks festivals. It's poor because it lacks vision, stability, and real investment in its people. The big unanswered question remains, after the burning, then what? Even Nepal's Gen Z doesn't really know. And that's why the nation keeps spinning, in circles of poverty, instability, and broken trust. If you find these snarky, but honest breakdowns entertaining, don't forget to support the channel with a like, share, or comment. So Benny has the fuel to keep chasing international drama and retelling it here. Because honestly, sometimes world news is funnier than stand-up comedy.